I've been thinking about what other people are thinking about Wario. So, I posted on my Discord and asked people to post their unpopular opinions regarding Wario. And some opinions I did get indeed. Let's take a look at them. I have really never seen any unpopular opinions regarding Wario. Maybe it's because it's not simply a hot topic, or maybe it's because most people seem to share the same kind of thoughts regarding him and his games and everything around the character, but opinions do exist. And I have received them. We are gonna check them out right now. Techni, or Techni, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I think it's Techni, says, Wario is more interesting than Mario. Not sure. I think maybe it's because we are so exposed to Mario and his character. We are so exposed to his kind of typical perfect, child-friendly, all-happy guy. And I think Wario can thus be seen as more interesting because he has more, should we say, distinct and extreme sides. Skopika says, I think Wario's biker design is better than his plumber design. It helps him stand out more than just yellow Mario. This I agree with, even though I have this really soft spot for his yellow plumber design because it is a classic. It does help him stand out. Cosmo says, the WarioWare series should have gone to Waluigi instead, if it meant he got an equal amount of representation from Nintendo as Wario at the time of its debut. Wario already has the Land series, does he really need another one all to himself? Never really thought about it in that way, but I think it would have been better than what we have now. I've always imagined Waluigi having a platformer series which was more focused on cheating and darker elements, having less focus on platforming and combat and exploration as the Wario Land games do, but instead having focus on something in line of NPCs you can interact with. A larger connected world, almost like a Metroidvania of sorts, with Waluigi in it, and having surprising, darker elements that really fleshes out Waluigi's character as someone sneaky, someone who is a bit laid back, who is hiding in the shadows, working behind the scenes. I think that could be a really cool way to take his character and, build up his own style and his own genre of games. But I do agree that splitting up the Wario games into Land and Ware was probably not the best idea, because it has split up the Wario fanbase kind of into two. I don't think that was such a good idea, even though both games are great. Lune Yejin, I think, says balls. Fungus Anomaly says, Ashley is honestly overrated. She has the personality of a plank of wood. WarioWare is much more than just Ashley. There's Mona and Jimmy T, Drupal and Spitz and Orbulon as a few examples of WarioWare's great cast. But no, they don't get the attention because of boring Ashley overshadowing them entirely with, what, being a bland witch? Honestly, I can understand where you're coming from. Because when you talk about WarioWare characters, Ashley is often the one that is referenced and featured and talked about, even though she can be kind of bland. She can be kind of anonymous, honestly, in an act to try to be cool. She is cool too, but you know what I mean. I can understand your point. There are definitely a lot of characters in the WarioWare series which definitely deserve some more recognition. It should be evened out a bit more. Yas J9000 says, Wario did nothing wrong. first opinion I don't agree with. Globy says Wario's Woods is the best Wario game. Sure. Anyway, look at this landscape. It's kind of nice. Wraith of Ree says, my unpopular opinion is we need more Wario Land games akin to games like Wario Land 2 and 3. Immortal Wario, but a lot of exploration. I could not agree more. Turns out a lot of these opinions are not very unpopular with me, but I think maybe for the majority, but I think a lot of us people think alike. I love the immortality system in Wario Land 2 and 3 because it forces developers to balance and design the game differently. It has to punish you differently than simply taking away your limited hit points. I think Wario Land 3 does this maybe best. Instead of taking away limited hit points, it simply pushes you back, sets you back in the progress of the level. I think that's a unique and genius design, and I really wish we could get more of that. The Pain Zone says, I firmly believe that the characters exclusively used in the Wario Land series could be reused and expanded upon in the mainline and spin-off Mario games. In fact, Dr. Mario 64 did exactly what I said, and completely shows what I'm saying. And don't get me started on the boss characters. Think about how cool it would be to fight the Genie, Captain Syrup, or even the Golden Diva and Rudy the Clown in mainline Mario games. I don't really know why this has not been done yet. The Wario Land games have such an amazing cast of bosses and enemies and friendly allies as well, but none of them are really used elsewhere. They are kind of locked into the Wario Land series, which can make the games a bit more unique and exclusive, but this is an entire world we can expand on. Why haven't Rudy the Clown, for example, been used in a Mario game, or appeared in some spin-offs like Mario Party, where they don't really matter that much in terms of what is canon, what is not, just as a fun reference? There's been way too little of that. And, yep, I agree. We should definitely have seen more of this. Well, we've certainly heard a lot. To round this off, let me tell you about my unpopular Wario opinion. That I'm not really a fan of the WarioWare art style. I always found it, honestly, a bit unpleasant to look at. I can't really explain why that is. I think it has to do with the sheer amount of variety in the games in terms of art style, and of course that is kind of the point. Damn, look at this lens. Look at these clouds, man. As I said, there's so much variety in one game, to the point where, to me, it loses kind of its identity in all of it. When I think about WarioWare, the only thing visually I think of is Wario's biker outfit and very rounded off character designs, or art style for the characters rather. And I'm not really a fan of that either. But I also feel the games have a bit, not a strong identity, visual identity, as I would have hoped. And of course that is kind of a compromise you have to make when you have so many micro games that are supposed to be extremely different from each other. That's kind of the concept of these micro games. But a consequence of that is that games kind of feel a bit lost in their visual identity, in my opinion, of course. When I think about WarioWare, as I mentioned, I don't really have this clear image in my mind of the visuals for a WarioWare title, because there are so many of them in one game, in one package. And that can be a good thing, but I also think it hurts it a bit. That's my unpopular opinion. Probably not a whole lot of people are gonna agree with me on that, but that's okay. And speaking of course, we're gonna have to do this a lot more. And this time, I'm not gonna take it from Discord, but I'm gonna take them from this comment section. And what I want to hear this time is your unpopular opinion regarding Mario as a character, his games, anything about him, anything regarding the character. If it's unpopular and you think not a lot of people are going to agree with you on it, I want to hear it. In the comments, post it down there, and you might just be featured in the next video where we do something like this. Also, check out my Patreon in the description below if you want to join this little lounge club that we're having, where you get some unique boosts and perks, and getting videos early, getting to vote for stuff, etc. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.